Does a high resolution system have to go to 40 kilohertz? That's higher than we can hear, right? This question comes from Vicente Vargas of Mexico City. And here he goes. I gotta tell you, Terry and I, my son Rob and his wife Tina, went to Mexico City a few weeks ago. Never been to Mexico City, and for some reason, I've been to all parts of Mexico. I love Mexico. I mean, it's a great city with great people, but we've either gone to beach towns, kind of resort places. I mean, when I was a kid, I used to go to Tijuana and buy fireworks, and always there was a certain flavor to it that I don't even know how to describe it, but that represented Mexico to me. And it's the same thing I worry about when people come to the United States and all they see is Las Vegas, right? I mean, the difference between Birmingham, Alabama and Las Vegas, Nevada is Venus and Mars, right? So it's tough when you judge a country based on a whole bunch of resort towns, and that's very unfair, but I had nothing else to go on. We went to Mexico City and I fell in love. I mean, to tell you, why go to Europe? That place is Europe. We had the best time, completely safe. And people here told me, "Oh, you're crazy. It's the murder capital of the world." Bullshit. I mean, I don't know anything about that. I felt completely safe. They could care less that I was an American, and Americans were in the minority. So we were really in a foreign country. It was great. Loved it. The food. Right now, the dollar and the peso is ridiculous. I mean, Uber rides were like $1.43. Big fancy dinners, $50, $60. Wow. Culture. Gorgeous people. Great sunshine. We went on this river cruise on these boats where a guy was poling it like you do in what is it, in Venice in Italy. Anyway, enough about Mexico City. Couldn't be happier about a place that I've gone to in years and years and years. Loved it. Will be going back. What the hell are we talking about? Oh, yeah, as long as we're rambling, look what's behind me. This is Gus's Moog synthesizer. It's an original Moog synthesizer, the one-note wonder that I wrote about in my book. And I mean, it's all the patch cords and the knobs and wow. So anyway, I couldn't resist. Here, have to do it in front of that because that is one of the coolest machines ever, and it's what involved me and got me started in synthesizers. So Vincenti writes, is it true that a real high-res system must have, in all the chain of speakers, amplifiers, preamplifiers, and sources, a frequency response up to at least 40 kilohertz to be a highly resolving system? That's a good question, and it's, like many questions, a little too specific, because there are certainly systems without that kind of bandwidth that I would call truly highly resolving. Most systems that are highly resolving have extended bandwidth above 20 kilohertz. And one of the reasons that that's interesting to us is because something that curtails off right about the point where our hearing stops, or even the limits of our hearing stops, can cause phase shift. And phase shift, or temporal distortion, is something very sensitive. The ear is very sensitive too. And though we can't hear those frequencies, the fact that it's rolling off changes all kinds of things that our ear really can detect. So what's a good, I'm not thinking of a great analogy, but you don't need the bandwidth for what you're actually listening to. You need the bandwidth so that what you are actually able to hear is undistorted in terms of phase and temporal cues. That said, there are products out there that would still qualify as highly resolving. And let's define what's highly resolving. Well, a highly resolving system, to me, means that you can hear differences in recordings, in cables, in equipment, in the things that we as audiophiles value. So any system that allows us to hear those differences qualifies, in my book, as highly resolving. My buddy Bill Lowe at AudioQuest used to demonstrate his cable differences, just A, B cable differences with the crappiest little systems. And it was easy to hear. We've heard differences on this series of Ask Paul. We've heard differences that were picked up on my little microphone. So I guarantee you this thing don't have no 40 kilohertz resolution. So you don't need that bandwidth, though generally most highly resolving systems have extended bandwidth for the reasons that I explained. Okay, great question. Thank you. And I'm going to have to get used to this because today is the beginning of a new set of videos that I'm doing after my book, 99% True, almost a national bestseller, has been published. And I'm going to end each of these for a few days, maybe, I don't know, for a month or so, with a shameless plug for you to go out and get that book. So I'm going to grab it. I forgot to grab it. So, oh, you have to forgive me because I ain't used to plugging my book. So there she is, 99% True. And you could cross off almost a national bestseller because guess what? It is a national bestseller, thanks to you guys. Thanks, we made #1, which is kind of cool. It's on Amazon and all that stuff. Excuse me. And I know a lot of you don't like reading. Now, I'm an old fart. I grew up reading. I love reading. I love writing. I love literature. But many times we don't have the time. So do me a favor. I wrote this book for you. Do me a favor. Go out and grab a copy. Just go to Amazon and grab a copy. Just type in 99% True and it'll come up for you. And if you don't like reading, buy the audiobook. I read the whole thing. Now, it's 14 hours long. But you can take it in doses and gulps. So, all right. Thanks for watching. I'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye.